All right, guys, this is the Rambler. I know it has been a good minute since I have made a video going through personal life and all that great bullshit going on in my life right now. But I've been seeing a lot of praise and I've been seeing a lot of love about this whole Spider-Man 4 Brand New Day movie. And honestly, I saw it with my own eyes. Now, I'm not a hater. I went in completely open minded. Before I saw this movie, I was seeing how great it was. Spider Man's back. Tom Holland is back. Brand New Day is one of the best Spider Man movies, possibly one of the best superhero movies of all time. Now, I kind of had a feeling this was BS because also they were saying the same shit when they brought the other two Spider-Mans together, Andrew and Toby, right? That movie, I didn't think it was great. I did not think it was great. I thought it was very mid. I thought the script relied too heavy on cameos, nostalgia. I thought the people of the writers, the creators, I thought they believe that they can, get a easy, $1 billion movie because, people would love to see the old Spider-Mans cracking jokes and talking about how fucked up their back is. It was funny, but it wasn't a great movie. Just like this movie, right? Now, the problem I have with this movie is the script. It's still not working. They're throwing too much at us. They realize that, okay, well, hey, we made so much money, bringing the Spider-Man meme back into life, and the whole Deadpool and Wolverine thing. People love cameos, right, of old movies that we fell in love with. They love them, right? So we can still make a bunch of money, and we'll just pump out this trash, right? It wasn't great. There was no there at any point in the movie, I never felt like Spider-Man was in danger. And I mean, you can make sense that complaint is, pretty stupid, right? I mean, obviously, Spider-Man is a golden boy. He's never going to be in danger. They're never going to kill him off. It makes sense. I get it. I do. I truly do. But the problem is there was never any suspense, right? Never any suspense. First of all, I'm just going to go down the things I was not a big fan of this movie, or why I just did not personally enjoy it. First of all, Peter Parker, Tom Holland. Yes, he kind of changed in the way he was acting. He seemed kind of more adult-like. But the whole time I'm just watching this movie, I'm thinking to myself, why? Why are you involving the Punisher? He doesn't fit the theme of Spider-Man. When I think of the Punisher, I think of Netflix series. I don't care what they try to do with him in the new Daredevil remake on Disney. I don't care how the MCU tried to bring him in the fold. He's a very serious character. He's a man who's trying to fight for justice. He doesn't know what to do besides kill bad people because of what happened to his family. You can't joke around like that. You can't be cracking jokes with Spider-Man and shit. It doesn't work. The Scorpion basic cameo in a sense. It wasn't even that long. Why is he in this movie? It's been 10 years since the last time you showed him. You were making it seem like you were going to do the Sinister Six, and then you scrapped that idea. The black woman, random as fuck. They were making this woman seem like she was supposed to be Jim Gordon. But she wasn't. She was in the movie for a couple minutes in the beginning, then a little bit later on, and then just dipped the fuck out. Then you had Spider-Man calling her kids like they were fucking, like, he was Uncle Spider-Man. No. The whole MJ and Ned situation doesn't work. I'm not one of those haters who hate on fucking Tom, Tom Spider-Man dating a black woman. Let's be for real, there's a lot of haters who do that. They don't like Zendaya because they think MJ is not the real MJ, aka she's not white enough. Hey, if you want to hate on that shit, that's cool. But I mean, it seemed unnecessary. The whole point of Spider-Man 3 was for them to be erased from Peter's mind. So he spent 4 years doing that shit, and then what? He just turns his back and, just goes back to his fucking family? Dude sounds like a fucking alcoholic when you give up drinks for like a good 4 or 5 years and you just come back. It wasn't a good look. Should have been new characters. The villains in here doesn't make sense. They were the albino character that they were trying to make it seem like he was going to have a pretty, decent, not decent role, but at least have a little bit of screen time. The motherfucker was shown for like 10, 30 seconds and he was gone. Unnecessary. The Hulk. Unnecessary. Why do you have the Hulk in here? The whole time I was watching the movie with the Hulk and Peter, it was just boring. I'm sorry, the character, the actor that plays, the Hulk is just, he was cool in the beginning, but now he's just a joke. And I'm not saying that he can't act. I'm just saying the script is just pathetic for him. Him fighting Spider-Man, right? The Hulk doesn't give a fuck about their friendship. Also, the whole idea that the Hulk would remember Spider-Man, Peter Parker, doesn't really make too much sense. I mean, I guess it kind of does, because when that happened, Bruce, I'm assuming he was in his normal form. So it would make sense, I guess, that, the Hulk would, not forget, Peter Parker. But he just stops fighting. Doesn't make any sense. Don't get me started on fucking Jean Grey. Disrespectful. I love Sadie. I'm a big Stranger Things fan. No matter how bad Stranger Things season 5 was. It was pathetic, by the way. I'm a big fan. But I swear to God, I was seeing Max as if she gained Eleven's powers and she was unleashing hell on everybody in the town. I did not get Jean Grey vibes at all. At all. It was actually kind of unsettling, because I'm like, yo, this is Max got fucking Eleven's powers. That's all I could think about when I was watching her. The only cool thing was when she fucking tricked Peter into kissing her, right? Into thinking that was MJ. That was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty dark. But the whole idea that she's becoming some psychopath who's going on a rampage trying to kill people, low key trying to fucking kill MJ, that was strange. It didn't make too much sense. It wasn't working for me. But people love it. The whole damage control. The dude was so obvious that he was evil. Very obvious. Honestly, it was kind of unsettling how obvious it was. When he was talking to Peter in the beginning, right? Didn't make sense. Yelena. Weird cameo. Doesn't make sense. Now, I know Peter Parker is a grown man in this movie, but when I saw her talking to him, all I could think was some fucking 36-year-old woman flirting with a 17-year-old dude. Kid, excuse me. That's all I saw. All I saw was Liana, like as a fucking school teacher in the fucking suburbs trying to fucking hit on a fucking student. That's the idea I got from that. Very strange. Scorpion, but what waste of time. Waited 10 years for that. Stupid. You had so many ideas, so many different chances you could have took. You could have introduced the Osborns. Harry. His father. Something. Instead, you brought Jean Grey in here and her random ass sister, who is, technically is in the comics. From what I did a little research on, she is in the comics. I don't know. I think later on in the comics, she started getting powers, right? Okay, cool. But the setup was ridiculous. The whole time, this bitch fucking died in an AC ventilator or some bullshit like that. She passed away. Boom. And the whole time, you thought the black guy was just being full of shit. When he didn't know what the fuck they were talking about, because it didn't make any sense. How the fuck would he know that that's the fucking AC that that bitch was in, that she was stuck in? It didn't make any sense. It was stupid. Jean Grey goes on a fucking rampage. But somehow, Peter Parker stops her because she met Aunt May. I'm sorry, Aunt May doesn't have that type of aura. She's not the fucking type of person who can stop a serial killer, a psychopath who's on a rampage trying to avenge her sister. That's not the type of aura Aunt May ever gave. The only type of aura who could give that off is the original one in the Tobey Spider-Man movies. Now she could probably talk Jean down and say, "Hey, bitch, you need to calm the fuck down. We love you." Not this Aunt May, not Tom Holland's Aunt May. I don't think so, bud. And then here's the thing. Tom Holland, when he was doing this whole little smart shit, right? You know, you see him trying to, I guess, be a researcher or, you know, helping out Bruce Banner with research and all that bullshit. I never got that type of vibe from him. They put themselves in a box. Tom Holland Spider-Man has never gave an intelligent Spider-Man. I never got that vibe from him. I never thought that this motherfucker can solve all type of different calculations and be the smartest one in the room. Never. It was kind of jarring how they were trying to make him seem like the smartest. Ned was supposed to be smarter than that motherfucker. Right? And the whole idea of MJ and Peter, she finally, he starts, he leaves a letter out, which is kind of strange. And she starts, connecting the pieces together. She's saying, I don't love you like that. I don't know you, which makes sense. But it was cringe. Obviously, her brain has been fucking wiped clean. She's not going to know this motherfucker. But it still came off as cringy. Right? It was just over bloated. Too much shit going on. You got the hand. You have Peter Parker's story about him fucking turning into a spider. That went nowhere. In the beginning, he could have controlled himself, but at the end, he fucking just, regains his fucking control and starts fucking whooping the hand's ass. Unrealistic. They dropped that storyline real quick. Spider-Man beating up a cop. Not beating up a cop, but, basically, putting the cop in harm's way. Even I guess the commissioner said, "Hey, that's not cool, Spidey. You got to calm down." He's like, I'm sorry. Where are the consequences for that? I didn't see any. The Punisher. Again, very strange cameo. Why is he in here? They have so many options they could have went with. They could have went with Daredevil. They could have went with Iron Fist. They could have went with Luke Cage. I understand, you want to kind of experiment, but there's so many way better people that could have involved besides, the Punisher. He doesn't fit. They don't seem like a good match. He fucking shoots Peter at the end. And then this motherfucker says, "Hey, you sneak out the back. I'm going to pretend like I'm you," basically. Starts waving and shit, all happy like. That was a cool scene, don't get me wrong, but it was still weird. The Punisher, he's an outlaw. Last time I checked. Didn't this motherfucker escape from jail in season 2 of the Daredevil? And his ass is just chilling in a hospital, like all nonchalant? How did he secure Peter Parker's identity? Wouldn't the damage control people, wouldn't they be all up on that shit? Wouldn't they be in the hospital? How is a convicted criminal who escaped jail is calling the shots to where he says, "No, you can't fucking lift his mask"? Who the fuck are you, nigga? You a convicted criminal. I'm not listening to you. If I'm damage control, I'm coming in that bitch and trying to unmask this motherfucker. But they don't do that. Jean Grey gets gets away scot-free. Doesn't make any sense. Where's the consequences? There's none. It was strange. I just can't believe what I was watching. The action wasn't that great. Let's be for real. Like Spider-Man and Tobey's, action scenes are just way so much better in comparison. This movie's about to make $2 billion, and people are loving it. They're saying how great it is, and it's shocking because if you say something how bad it is, people think you're the crazy one. You're the crazy one. So where do we go here from now? You made 4 movies. You don't have fucking Harry. You don't have Dr. Ock, except for in the 3rd movie. But that shouldn't count because that's some multiverse bullshit. No Sandman, again, in the 3rd movie, but that's not his villain. You have Mysterio. You have the Vulture. You got random villains from a verse from another multiverse that are not even your villains. But still no Harry? You out your fucking damn mind? You could have went so many different ways. You could have had Ned become the Hobgoblin. Make his ass go evil. Something tragic happens to him, right? So now he doesn't remember who the fucking Peter is. So he starts to go evil. He has to take him down. But you know why they can't do that shit? Because they know they backed themselves in the corner. Ned was supposed to be the funny fat kid. His acting chops are not that great to pull off a serious villain. And even if they did go down that route, it would be a joke. He would be cracking jokes, throwing bombs at people. It was sad. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I can't believe people are enjoying this. Has the movies gotten so bad that people can enjoy this piece of shit? It's not great. So many other options. You want to introduce the X-Men in a Spider-Man movie. Are you out your goddamn mind? You want to introduce Jean Grey? One of the most popular fucking super heroes of all time in a fucking Spider-Man movie? Does that make sense to you? So many other options. Why did you introduce Cyclops? If you want to introduce mutants, Nightcrawler. Julabee, whatever the fuck her name is, Iceman. I'd rather have a Spider-Man, Iceman fucking matchup. Not fucking Jean Grey fucking going on a fucking psycho rampage trying to avenge her sister, who honestly, I mean, do we give a fuck about her sister? I didn't. At the end, I was just like, oh damn, that's kind of fucked up. But the only thing I can keep on focusing on is, wait, that was her message to her sister? It wasn't that fucked up. It was stupid. Spider-Man, the Hand, the Punisher. Why is the Spider-Man fighting a bunch of ninjas? If anything, that the Daredevil should have been in that bitch. She should be like, oh shit, Damage Control took care of the Hand. Oh, so you guys are using them as a weapon? Oh hell no, I'm about to stop that shit. That would have been more interesting. But no. Making the Punisher a fucking joke. MCU joke. Nobody wants to see that shit. Now they really fucked themselves over because obviously he's going to go back to his friends, him and Ned doing the whole fucking, the handshake and shit. How did Ned remember that shit? Does he do that handshake with everybody? At the end, does he remember now Peter for doing a random ass handshake? Didn't make any sense. But they're like, oh, that's cool though. Random cameos, just a waste of time, man. Can't believe what I was watching. And now, since it's making so much money, the directors are focusing on the. I think they're helping out with Secret Wars. I think they're going to include Spider-Man now. Stupid. Where's Doctor Strange? This nigga Doctor Strange caused all this shit last movie. Where the fuck was that nigga? Why did he didn't have a cameo? Does Doctor Strange remember Spider-Man? I don't know. Maybe. Shit, we got fucking Punisher, but we don't got Doctor Strange, who fucking started this shit last movie. Jean Grey. Why'd you have Doctor Strange meet Jean Grey? Say, yo, bitch, you got some skills. Just stupid. Just can't believe people are loving this movie. Honestly, it's disgusting. People's standards have gotten clearly low. I don't know what to tell you guys. Just very disappointed. So disappointed I made a video over. It's been over 10 months. I had to come back and let you know how sick and tired I am of people praising shitty movies. We got to get our act together. MCU, you got to get your shit together, man. Not a great movie. Not at all. I am praying for Doomsday to come in the clutch, but honestly, I don't think they will. It's sad. I don't think the MCU is going to deliver. I think Robert Downey Jr. is going to do his best. I like the accent in the trailer, but I don't think it's going to work out. But we'll see. We'll see this shit show. All right, guys, it's a ramble. I'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a great night, bastards.